Shalom, shalom. What is going on, people? It is Eitan Ben Avram for Aleph Male here in the Holy Land of Israel. Have you ever had that experience where it's like you want to have like a little conversation with your wife, a little chat, some eye contact, and then one of your kids runs up and all of a sudden her attention totally goes to that kid and it suddenly feels like you're invisible? Just so you guys know, I'm making this video with permission of my wife because we have a conscious relationship. So I go through that almost every day, right? When we got married, I was just used to having my wife's full attention. And then all of a sudden, kids came into the picture and it was a different story, right? So it happened this morning where I made some coffee for my wife and tea for myself. And I was hoping we would just be able to sit at the table and chat with each other. And then suddenly my wife needed to give her attention to one of our kids. And that little chat moment fantasy just like went out the window. And I was reminded, so what am I supposed to do with myself? Like, what am I supposed to do? Because I'm still sitting here, right? I'm still sitting at the table. I still got the tea in front of me. She still's got the coffee in front of her, but she's not looking at me anymore and she's focusing on our kid and I don't know what's happening, right? So obviously there's my egoic response, which is to like throw a little tantrum and rage, like, I want attention, right? But really, as a father, and as a man and as an Aleph male who wants to embrace Aleph consciousness, right? Not the alpha male who's like, yo, I'm at the top, right? But as an Aleph male, right? Because the Aleph is silent and the Aleph, all of the other Hebrew letters, all of creation comes out of the Aleph. The Aleph is silent. It holds space for all of the letters and words and sentences and paragraphs of all of creation to come into being. Right? Because I strive to be an Aleph male, because I strive to have Aleph consciousness, I was like, okay, what am I going to do when my wife is paying more attention to my kids, when I wanted to have that moment with her? I'm going to pay attention to my kids, right? I'm going to be present and shift my consciousness, right? I'm going to be present and witness the beauty. I'm going to bear witness to my wife paying attention to my son's drawing, right? Because it's not actually about me. And really, the place that I really learned this was actually at my son's birth, my firstborn son's birth. We did a home birth and my wife like went deep inside herself. And we had all these conversations and all these plans of like what I'm going to do during the birth so that I can feel useful, you know, massage, da. And really, like when it came time for the actual birth, she just like went deep inside herself. And most of the time, I just like needed to like be present. Like she didn't really need my help for anything. Like I was there, but like it wasn't like I'm supporting her. Oh, I'm here for you. I mean, there were times where she was like grabbing my hands until I thought she was going to crack my fingers, you know, but nonetheless, it's like, it was like really, she just went deep into herself. And I was there to support and I was there to hold space, but I wasn't being like so involved, right? And really what was going on was like she was rearranging her energetic pipes to bring a new life into the world, right? She went deep into herself, right? So that she could bring this life out. And really, she hasn't changed the pipes. They've stayed that way. Her energy now is in a huge way focused on our children and not on me, right? And that was a big adjustment. But at the same time, over and over, when I remember that actually what I can do when I want to be the center of attention and she's paying attention to our kids is I can be an Aleph male. I can go into Aleph consciousness. I can be present. I can hold space. I can witness the beauty of my wife giving love to our kids, and I can be of service. Right? It happened again this morning where my wife needed to cut one of my baby's nails, right? And we were in the middle of a conversation and the conversation had to stop because the baby was fussing. And so again, it's like, why aren't you paying attention to me? I'm trying to talk to you. It's like, no. It's like, look, the baby's fussing. What can I do? Aleph consciousness, hold space, be present. What's happening outside my own ego? And what was happening was my baby needed something to focus on so that he would have less resistance to have his nails being cut. And so I gave him a toy. And then all of a sudden he focused on the toy. And then it was much easier for my wife to cut his nails. And then we were actually able to continue the conversation. right? So what do you do when your wife is paying more attention to your kids than to you? You need to go into Aleph consciousness, right? You need to be present, witness the beauty of how amazing it is that your wife is paying your attention to your kids and giving love to your kids, and be of service, right? Hold space, be present, and be of service. Aleph consciousness. The Aleph is silent. It holds space. It's not checked out. It's not silent resentment. It's not silent in my imagination. It's no, silent, present, eyes on what's happening in the room, situational awareness, actually warrior service energy, right? Situational awareness in your freaking apartment or house with your wife and children. You're paying attention and you're being present and you're being of service. So that's what being an Aleph male is all about. Eitan Ben Avraham for Aleph male, Jewish beard care and soul care. Peace in, peace out, and shalom.